Bottom left-hand side, our red Terran player is going to be Team Liquid's Clem. Grand Finals of ESL Open Cup Europe number 127. And yes, that's right, in the top right-hand side, our blue Protoss player from Kaiser Gaming is Reynor. You might be thinking, hey, why is he playing Protoss? Well, he's just playing off-race today. Just a casual Monday night, decided to play some off-race. You know, he said to me a few hours ago, said, "What, are you going to cast me tonight? I feel like today's the day." And I said, the day for what? And he said, "The day I win it all as Protoss." And I was like, yeah, okay, mate. Well, here he is in the finals. Yeah, who do you think he went through to get here? A couple players you've not heard of before? He just 2-0'd Showtime in PvP. 2-1 Hero Marine in PvT. Reynor is playing out of his freaking mind as Protoss right now. Let's see if he can cause a ridiculous upset against Clem, because that would be next freaking level. Thank you so much, Dragon Power, for the gifted sub to Bagaleo. And let's jump into this best of 5. I just can't quite believe we're here, you know, like, it's kind of a little bit bonkers, to be quite honest with you guys. It's kind of a little bit silly that this is where we've gotten to and that this is happening, but I mean, this is it. This is real. Let's see who can come out on top. Now, we just watched 2,000 atmospheres, and already Clem is looking to take the initiative here by engineering bay blocking, trying to take the power away a little bit from Reynor in the early stages. So, just going to be trying to slow Reynor down, make Reynor kind of play Clem's game rather than letting Reynor play his own game. I always think, I mean, this is already good to do when you're playing against Protoss anyways, but I really feel like this is one of those things which is good to do when you're playing against someone who you probably feel like you're fairly favored against, because it, like I say, it makes them play your game and to your timings and under your control a little bit more. And this is a rough engineering bay block, because that is full HP on the engineering bay. Obviously, the SCV is like, I'm going to finish this. Like, no, I'm not. Obviously, I'm not going to commit the money. That would be kind of silly, because then you can't cancel the engineering bay and get the money back. So, obviously, that's just not really a very smart thing to do. So that will not be the case. This engineering bay will eventually cancel, and Reynor is going to have the money to start a Nexus. Now, where is the probe gone? The probe's out the front, so probe is going to need to come in here and get that Nexus going down, get that whacked up, and ready to party. Cyclone on the way from Clem, is we're going to see a couple of Marines as well, but Reynor's actually opening Robo Facility, which is a little bit of a different opening. Now, obviously, Robo Facility can lead into perhaps something along the lines of a perhaps a Warp Prism and just some pressure from a Prism early in the game. Something along those lines, I think, can be pretty potent in these early stages. So maybe expecting something like that. As you see, the couple Stalkers, Sentry, all getting set up. I have Clem already coming across the map for a little bit of a push here, so he just likes to be aggressive. The Prism is building an Observer, which just, the Robo's building an Observer, which just isn't very useful at right now. And that's kind of an issue, right? Like, that's something that just doesn't help at all. This Pylon's going to go down, and that's the, and just another gateway at the front, so I guess not super important. Pylon does mean that you can't build a battery down here, and that means Clem can keep up this pressure. And he does have more units rallying across the map, and of course, Clem's control is very, very good with these units, so you've got to be a little bit worried here as Reynor about how you're going to cope with this. Cyclone lock-ons just bring that Stalker down. The Nexus has already lost its shields here, and Clem is still rallying units across the map. I believe an extra Cyclone showing up in a second. 2 Cyclones now. Zealot goes down. We just cannot retake control of the natural expansion. Clem is on a one-track mind to just take this down and to shut it down completely. Here's an Immortal. Massive deal breaker, because obviously the Immortal helps a lot. Very tanky and deals a lot of damage to the Cyclones. And that is finally going to be the defense necessary. And that is a huge W all of a sudden there for Reynor to actually save the natural. Now, it did cost him a lot. Did take a long time to get set up, but, well, better than losing the natural expansion, right? Better to have it than not to have it. Put it that way. Plain and simple. And this is going to be seen now. Stim pack currently about halfway done, and I mean, I'm sure Clem is going to be coming across the map with some more firepower soon. But because Reynor's going fast Robobay, fast Colossi, he will at least have some splash damage. And that might hold Clem off a little bit from being able to get too much done here along the course of this game. So let's see. And hey, Drew Lord J, thank you so much for 2 gifted subs to Fama88 and yet another username. Thank you so much. Appreciate all the little gifted sub bombs we're getting today, guys. Thanks so much for supporting the stream and helping the channel out and pushing us up towards, again, that road to 1,000 subs. Extended Thermal Lance is a building from Reynor that is on the way. The 2 Cyclones are making their way up to the top side of the map here. Just moving along with that and just seeing what they can do as they bring themselves around into position. It's going to get a lock on onto a pylon pretty much immediately. And, well, maybe that wasn't so great. Doesn't get the pylon, loses 1 Cyclone. We're kind of at the point where Cyclones don't do as much in the game, right? I mean, they're great early game. They may be great for kind of adding a bit of damage in, but it's not like you lose one and you're like, no, I needed this, right? Like, it's kind of past that point of being upset about losing them, I suppose, is the best way to phrase it. They're always going to be, it's always nice to have an extra unit. But, like I say, you're definitely not upset at this point in time if one has gone down. Marines have stim, and the drop in the main base just goes unseen. Fortunately, the Colossus pops out at the right time to help Reynor defend this, so he is going to get away with that. So 3 probes is going down, and, well, Clem is trying to get position on the 3rd, but can't do too much there just yet, so not finding the craziest of success. I mean, he's just going to rotate around. Again, when you're playing against early Colossus like this, it is difficult to find ways to deal damage because, well, you know, he committed into a very Reynor's committed into a very good defensive unit very early in the game. It's not unthinkable that it's hard to break that down, so it does take away a lot of what Reynor would usually have right now, right? You don't have map control. You know, you don't have Blink Stalkers to tell you what's going on. You don't have that pressure on the map with the Blink Stalkers. You don't have any Phoenix pressure or anything. Clem has worked his way around over here, going to get the battery to maybe set up a fight, but 3 Colossi does not seem engageable right here. Let's see, like I say, it's unupgraded gateway units. I think Clem just going to, let the tank go down, then jump in the main, maybe try and utilize some of the lack of mobility from Reynor. He's going to target down the Robo Facility. Yeah, Colossi take a little while to get over here. Robo Facility will go down. No 4th Colossus for you. And he's going to get some probes to go along the top of it as well, so I'm making the most out of this, and as he kills off Stalkers, there's not really much anti-air to stop these medevacs just flying away, and now he's on the top side with this drop as well, and this is where Clem is just so wonderful with his movement, just able to basically fly around the map as he wishes, where he wants to, and just create so much in each and every one of those scenarios. Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Marines hanging out on the watchtower. A few more medevacs coming over, and we'll be joining up with that force. See what they can do. Let's see a couple Widow Mines moving forward. Well, that's not going to be too successful. They get shot down in an instant, so no love found there. Marine chasing down a probe for a little bit. Just going to hunt that away. As medevac still just sat there, right? Just still a threat for at some point in this game. Going to 100% bring that back in and get some damage done with them. Colossi shots, a couple of Marines going down. We are going to go back along the side here. Clem trying to figure out the best way to attack in at the moment, trying to figure out where, again, the weak point is going to be. Of course, he really wants to try and pull Reynor away from the main base, because that main base is going to have that that drop in it, right? That big group of medevacs, or maybe the natural. He wants to do something with this, though. I mean, that's kind of an obvious statement, and he's going to drop on the natural, so he kind of got bored. He's just like, nah, I want to go for this. Pops a super battery here. Well, over on this side, Clem is not really winning this fight. He is getting pushed away. Vikings are about to show up, but maybe a little bit too late. Maybe they could have actually done something there, because they were going to be kind of against no anti-air, and maybe they still will do something here as new battery at the front about to finish. But remember, it can't overcharge because we've just had an overcharged battery, so no overcharging available just yet. 12 probes going down. And the medevacs do just about escape away up to the top side, so getting out of trouble there and just peeling away. We do have one medevac getting shot down at the end. I mean, he does get a lot of probes. Clem still has a very comfortable army supply lead right now, it feels like, so still doing very good with that. Stim in this Bioforce looking to take down these couple of cannons. Now the Stalker's putting some firepower out, pushing the Vikings away. Vikings not going to be allowed to stick around and do all that much at the moment, so not a lot happening. Clem just again keeping pressure on the map, but he doesn't have those kind of setups elsewhere right now, you know? He doesn't have the everything else kind of ready to go or anything along those lines, so kind of missing out a little bit in terms of what he could maybe follow up with. He does have this Widow Mine drop coming in. He just doesn't have like the triple medevacs behind the mineral line anymore. He has one up here, very low HP. The Widow Mine drop does force probes away, does act as a distraction. Clem is basically maxed. Vikings and Ghosts continue to pour out, and as those units continue to pour out, it's probably going to be good to kind of come on through and potentially crash down on this base. Let's see if he can break it. The EMPs, he can make those Archons melt. The Colossi are going to be extremely exposed extremely quickly, and that's obviously usually one of the bigger issues you face as a Protoss player. Your Colossi, just if they don't survive, then that's kind of bad, typically. Yeah, a few different things currently are going. Our Bioforce is going to continue to reset a little bit here and actually move around towards the top side. Going to be having this force getting set up. I mean, Clem's been hunting for this fight for a little while. I've been a little bit quiet because my voice hurts, honestly, from shouting in the semi-final. But we are getting into a bit of a larger fight now. And like I said, this kind of feels like it's what Clem's been waiting for here, just looking to find this. But now Reynor is maxed out, right? And honestly, I feel like some of the best StarCraft Reynor's played today with Protoss has been when he's been maxed out. So I'm a little worried. That said, Clem is still kind of in control of the game, right? And he's got the bases that he wants. Let's see how Reynor does in this fight. Let's see if he can make enough work for himself. He has been, like I say, pretty good maxed out. One Colossus staying alive, but then these Archons still getting good splash damage done. And Clem is starting to lose a lot of units here, and Reynor is the one that's going to have some chase potential with the Stalkers. But absolutely blinking after some of these medevacs. That medevac from nowhere just comes in, and yeah, Reynor's going to have some chase potential. Clem comes out with higher supply. I feel like that's just Reynor not spending his money. Like, Reynor has 1.4k, 1.4k float, and if he spent that 1.4k money, minerals and gas, then he would be in a way better spot, obviously, and would probably be matching / ahead in supply. He's going to warp in a counterattack of Zealots. Prism has backed away immediately. Going to warp in over here. I like that. Because obviously that takes the attention from the main to then the third base or so, and Viking is going to find the Prism. So a little bit obvious, obviously, is in Sense Tower range, but actually going to get the recall home, so the Prism will stay alive at least. Finding again, another EMP goes off, and just going to be seeing the Immortal getting tagged by that. The Colossus being healed up. Two Vikings bio units all gathering up in the main base right now, so all of that getting settled together. We have our Bioforce coming back around the bottom of this here, and just going to see a couple of Zealots getting caught. I'm losing a few SCVs though. Reynor has been good at, again, getting some of this harassment up and online. Also do have the Zealot count. Zealots continue to chunk through SCVs. Disruptor coming in from afar. Actually kills his own battery off. Probably would have died anyway though, let's be fair. Clem loads up and he sends a few medevacs into the main base just to try and keep the pressure going. It's going to be a Disruptor here though, and if Clem ain't watching, it's going to help the cleanup. So I'm losing a lot of units, and like I say, just lost a few SCVs as well, and that is all starting to add up just a little bit. It's starting to work against him just slightly as our Zealots and Stalkers come on through, pushing that medevac out of here. It gets chased on away. Get out of here, medevac. Get out of here. So medevac's going to hide in the upper corner. Let's just see the rest of this Bioforce going to turn back around. Ghost Archon taking a couple shots of damage. Colossi taking hits. DT's trying to show up, but actually not enough DTs to take down the planetary with the repair active, and obviously the SCV's just able to keep that going for the moment. A lot of probes going down all of a sudden as Clem finds his way to the top left base. It does feel like you lose track of Clem's army for a moment and you're just in so much trouble, and you can kind of see that here, as this is just Clem. He's not just won this base and killed 20 probes, but he's also doing damage over in the natural. And he got rid of a lot of tech units as well. And it's definitely stunted Reynor's chances to try and get through and do some damage elsewhere as well. Nice little scan and snipe there just to get get one of the DTs that he wouldn't have had otherwise. May as well take as much value as possible out of each and every one of these fights. And has done exactly that right there. Prism down the bottom side, couple Zealots, couple DTs. Disruptor shot flies forward, doesn't land. Prism comes across, going to land in the natural expansion. Another disruptor shot coming through. A lot more Zealots building in the main. See disruptor shot after disruptor shot currently just landing. Well, I mean, doing okay, but I mean, at the end, just not quite going to be enough as... Oh, this one, no, it gets denied last second. Yeah, the rest of these disruptors and the Immortal continue to go down, and this is just going to be Clem pushing through for victory. Credit to Reynor, he got himself maxed out in a game where I think he was meant to be very dead much earlier. He kept it going, he kept it alive, he fought till the better end. And gave himself some chances when, like I say, maybe there shouldn't have been any at all. GG's. And Clem is forced to play 17 minutes to win game 1 with this best of 5. Up one game in the bottom left-hand corner, making a hell of a series out of this so far is our Red Terran player playing his actual race, Clem. Bottom right, our blue Protoss hanging on in when maybe he shouldn't be. Reynor from Kaiser Gaming in the bottom right. I'm going to whack this indie camera on. And I'm going to once again attempt to drink my cup of tea. So my voice could really do with it. Like, really badly do with it. Oh shit, I have to run ads. Otherwise they're going to run in the game. Phew, saved. And we'd rather you guys get hit with a minute and ads, ads a minute into the game rather than ads 10 minutes into the game. Well, I mean, Reynor got absolutely nuked by Hero Marine in the first game of their best of 3 and really bounced back well in that series, so... See how he does. Game 2 of this one. I don't think we've seen him play on Blackburn yet. Obviously, it's a best of 5 now, so some different maps make it through that veto process. That is what we're starting to see here. Just got ourselves the SCV chasing the probe down. A couple of SCVs going to go in after a little probey there, in fact. And there is the command center going down without a hitch. Wasn't even late, so command center gets to get placed. No issues at all. Thumbs up, smiles all around, everyone's happy. Well, maybe Reynor isn't, because now his probe came back in, and it's a Reaper! That's going to kill that now. There's a bugler going up across the map, and that's going to be Clem attempting to get himself this Reaper into a little bit more of an aggressive situation. This SCV low HP, can it RNG correctly? So far, yes, it can RNG correctly. I mean, playing Zerg, I'm sure Reynor is used to this nonsense. Has dealt with it many a time before on proxy racks. Oh my god, it finishes. At least you get the SCV, right? Because if you don't get the SCV, then the SCV can sit there and repair. At least in killing the SCV now, he's going to put a lifeline on this bunker. As the Reaper is just going to go back into it. And is just going to be seeing this Reaper popping back out and continuing to give this a little bit of a go right now. So, putting some damage out here. We've just got ourselves a Stargate on the way as the setup here from Reynor is just getting that underway. Adept's going to be coming over. Reaper is going to turn back around. That's going to be seeing the Adept is going to go and chase Reaper down just a little bit there. So Reaper going to get shoved away for the moment. As you see the... Sorry, just replying to someone quickly. You see the Reaper just going to come back around, try and get some scout, and he's going to see the Phoenix, which is already pretty good info, and we'll see an extra Phoenix. So you're getting the idea there's going to be a good few Phoenix currently on the way. Like I say, that's good information to work off of already. So Clem getting pretty good info out of this. Oh man, boom. Yeah, he knows that Phoenix is coming into scout, and so he just puts the 2 Widow Mines there, kind of lets the medevac bait a little bit, and boom, double commitment, double hit. Kind of a cool play from Clem. Also, though, a little bit bad from Reynor, because if you're paying full attention to that Phoenix, if you pull it away immediately when you see the lines in the Widow Mines, you can get it out of there, right? And you don't lose it, but a little mistake there, I think, from Reynor. And to be fair, that's one thing you don't have to deal with as much as Zerg nowadays, which is like kind of watching for the like Widow Mines like that with like air units, I guess, or like singular air units. So yeah, that's maybe something that, you know, especially early games, maybe that's something that doesn't transfer over from Reynor playing Zerg at a high level. This medevac just trying to bait up there. Alright, sorry guys, just typing in chat, explaining the little sound issue, the sound bleep that goes off sometimes. So, let's get back on track though, because Clem is coming through the bottom side. Medevacs, Marines, and a couple of Widow Mines are going to come across, and, well, going to get a little bit feisty, right? Going to try and get up in the face. As this Medevac ends up just trying to drop the Widow Mines in here, this Phoenix is going to have to back away just a little bit, and we do have our extra couple of mines burrowing, and we're going to have Clem basically zoning, so you can get on top of this base. He does lose 1 mine shot to a single probe. That's not what he wants. He lifts it, though, and when you lift it, it does expose it to the Phoenix, perhaps, but he does move in a position to target a Phoenix if that happens. A good position to fight just out of range of the battery initially. Reynor's supply blocked as well. A pretty awful time to be supply blocked from losing the pylon. Just can't warp in anything for an eternity. He's actually only just starting pylons as well. He is supply blocked for such a long time here. Oh wow, that's really brutal. It's pretty much one of the worst supply blocks I think you can have, actually. And obviously it is initially kind of instigated by Clem getting rid of a pylon, but I mean, it's such a heavy supply block. He would have probably been supply blocked even if he hadn't lost a pylon for some amount of time at least. Marines come back in. Just going to be seeing that Marines coming through. Phoenix are going to be going down, and Clem is going to be taking a 2-0 lead. Two-0 lead is belonging to the Red Terran play on the top left-hand side from Team Liquid. This is Clem. Up against the Blue Protoss in the bottom right-hand side from Kaisi. We've got ourselves Reynor. Oh, sorry guys, I'm getting hit by like a wave of like, I think just being tired, honestly. Like, I don't know, just been live 7.5 hours, and I really think shouting about that semi-final so much is like, it's knackered me a little bit, honestly. It's knackered me just a little bit, so Sorry for a little bit of a lackluster game 2. Let's try pick it up a little bit for game number 3. Let's try get this going, and hopefully we have a good time of it. It is going to be Berlingrad, so definitely a Terran map, right? Definitely one of the ones that Clem is very happy to be seeing here. He's very content with that being the map that they get to play on now. This is a good map. It's short for Terran to move across. There's lots of ledges for them to utilize tank pushes and positions on. It's generally a good map for the Terran player to utilize, so he's setting up for that a little bit as a couple SCVs coming in, aiming for a Protoss. So even if Reynor loses here, it has been a great effort from him. It's been a great run. It's been a great effort. I mean, no shame losing to Clem. And, yeah, I mean, kind of amazing. Guys picking up ESL points and money with his Protoss, with his off race. You know what's funny? Earlier today, I actually started out talking about how Reynor was, Reynor gets C2 even though he's playing Protoss, and maybe they should fix that, right? Because he's C2 because of his ranking with Zerg in EPT. So maybe if he plays off race, they should have like a different seed for him. And now here he is, gonna get top 2 in the tournament, and like, maybe this was just a slap in the face to me. Maybe Reynor just saw a chance to like, make me look like an idiot, and he's just like, can't miss out on that. Can't miss out on that. Conker does get up again. Reaper gets into it. This time the SCV is there and healthy to try and give it some repairs, and that will be beginning to happen. Stalker is actually going to get the Reaper stuck here. Reaper actually does go down, so Reaper falls earlier than expected. There's the Robo facility dropping down from Reynor. We've seen him open Robo in that first game as well. See what he does with it this time around. See if he opens. He opened just straight Observer last time. Wonder if he could open straight into the Prism or so this time and actually get some damage done. The problem with the Observer is it's just, if you don't get damage, if you take any amount of damage and you've opened Observer, you have no way to recreate damage on your opponent's side of the map or counter or anything, right? It's a little bit rough as we do see these couple of Stalkers picking away at some SCVs. And this is at least a little bit chaotic for Clem to deal with. He is losing Marines, and his SCVs not getting us around to trap the Stalkers in. We're going to kill one Stalker now. This mule is more body blocking than anything else, as the other Stalker gets around the Widow Mine, and Clem's still having issues here. He's got another Marine showing up, but he has to use this Widow Mine to really trap the Stalkers now. He's going to burrow towards being on top of them, and he's going to really zone them into a bit of a weird spot. That's a dead Stalker. No! I thought it was dead because of the way it was moving around, because it's like walking around the gas. I thought it might stand in the Widow Mine range long enough for the shot to go off, but it didn't quite happen. It's going to be seeing the two Stalkers picking their way through this orbital. Just going to have the Widow Mine there, and just going to be seeing our Marines coming back through, trying to go for those Stalkers, and obviously we just have the recall out here in the end, so we can recall out without any real issue. And the Stalkers get home nice and easily. Raven begins from Clem 2, so he's going to finally get on track with his actual build. Obviously, Reynor putting a good amount of pressure on. In this case, I kind of don't mind it as much that he's gone kind of straight Observer and Colossus, because he's applied some pressure anyway. Clem's not the one that's just going to get kind of full map control immediately, because he's going to be a little bit scared, a little bit set back from where he was. Okay, I like it. Like I said, I mean, as long as you're not the one taking damage, I feel like it's okay to kind of go into that, right? And now Clem loses a pretty hefty medevac that had some Marines inside as well, so that is a little bit costly. It's actually very costly. It's just going to be seeing the Observer still out here. It's doing a little bit of spotting, but yeah, Clem's not in a great spot at all. 8 workers down. I mean, obviously Terran does get to play against that bit, but losing mines around the map, losing that medevac and Marines actually really feels like it stings quite heavily, honestly. I mean, this really sucks. Yeah, it's a little bit rough right now, for sure. Not ideal at all, as these Stalkers are going to push through slightly. Just a little bit of progress to the front. Again, Stim, Combat, +1, all of that continuing through at the moment as we do have our Twilight Council producing as well here. It's going to be seeing our finally kind of getting into that tech from Reynor is going to be a big deal on the Twilight because, again, just Colossi can sometimes be exposed. They can sometimes still be abused, so that's something we can maybe expect to have happen at some stage. This probe of Reynor goes all the way up the right-hand side and is going to go, again, just scouting around a little bit to get some extra zealots warping in on third base. There's that pylon going up over on that corner. Just getting some map vision. Do you feel like map vision is one of the things Reynor struggled with the most in some of his earlier games? Not just in this series, but in previous series too, where sometimes he's just being blind, he doesn't quite know where his opponents are coming from, and when he has the vision, he's really good at responding to it and playing around what he sees. But I feel like he's just struggling to create the vision sometimes to give himself the chance to kind of say, okay, this is on the way, let's get in position, let's, deal with this right now. Clem is going to have a Raven with a single Matrix available if he would like to try and use that in this fight. See what he tries to do is... Well, this army's going to jump on him, and like I said, I don't know if you can really do this with just a single Matrix. Reynor doesn't really want to fight into it. The tanks being siege means they can target fire down the Colossi quickly, and Reynor is just a few moments out from having charge. The second he has charge, this army, I think, just dies from Clem. I don't think it has a good time, or it definitely doesn't have a good fight. Maybe he trades out a bit, but charge is critical to this, and it's now going to be done. Don't think Clem likes the look of what he's playing against, so he's not going to go too heavily in just yet. But I mean, he doesn't have much choice. He's playing 5 racks, 2 base all in. He can't actually just hang back. He has to make something happen. Just feel like he doesn't think that this is it just yet. And ooh, Reynor kind of gets a bit weirdly split up, right? Clem's still unsure, and he's not fully convinced he can actually take a fight against that, just because he doesn't know if Reynor's ready to run back. But I actually felt like that was Reynor making a bit of a mistake and did put his army in a bit of a precarious spot. Clem just felt a bit more YOLO about it. He might have just been able to do it. Now it works wonders, though, because now it turns into a surround. And that's just going to be good enough for Reynor to clean this up. Clem's all in, so like I say, if he doesn't win, if you're all in, if you don't win this fight, you don't win the game. Reynor is going to take a third map, and he's going to bounce back at least by 1. Everything went right for him this game. Early pressure, all the follow-ups. Fantastic setup. In the top right corner of the map, our Red Terran player from Team Liquid. This is Clem. And he still leads 2-1 as he takes on Reynor's Protoss in the bottom left. The blue player. Let's see how he does. See if he can take another map here or not. So I guess I have a really inevitable sort of feeling that I'm about to sneeze, and I'm just like, I'm holding it. I'm like, okay, just do it, just go, and then I can't, and I'm just like, ah. Don't think it's happening. No sneezing. No sneezing. Okay, we're good. Oh, Reynor at least getting something going for himself, and obviously showing us the potential to close out if he gets into that good spot. That group of units was kind of scary to get in position the way he got it there. I feel like Clem maybe could have jumped on it. But I'm surprised Clem then continued forward knowing that group of units was over there, because I think he just expected it to be brought back, because I think he knows most Protoss players would just bring that back home, right? Get it to the big army, move it all together. It's safer that way. Reynor just sets it up as a massive flank. Again, that's like his inner Zerg talking to him as he's playing these games. And that massive flank is huge in clearing up that army. I mean, I think he wins the fight no matter what. But it makes it so one-sided having the flank going in like that. Very fun to watch. Factory coming online. And as Clems gets his expansion up, bunker at the front, being pretty safe this time. Not going to give Reynor the chance to be aggressive against him or anything along those lines early. Going to see our starport going in on the bottom side of the map here. This nation is going to fly on in, have a little scout around. A couple of Hellions going to start popping out. We're going to begin moving out onto the map. Robo facility is building up from Reynor, and yeah, that gateway coming in as well. Warp gate coming through. A couple of gates coming down, actually. He just loves the robo opener. I'm just a little bit surprised by it, right? Because, like, out of all the builds you can prep in a matchup, like if you're playing a different race to usual and stuff, this just feels like the one that you don't really expect to be used because, well, who's out here using the robo openers in the first place, and then it's just like it doesn't set you up to do much. Like, it's just very safe, very slow going. It's really bad against Hellion drops as well, I think, because you just have nothing to help against them. Yeah, Reynor's in a bit of trouble right now. 6 probes already going down. This Hellion drop is a killer. Now, he's targeting the medevac, and I think that's a really smart choice in some ways, because he's got the force field for the ramp, so he can stop the Hellions going into the main. The problem is these probes didn't go in the main. They should have gone in the main when they had the chance, because now they're obviously still in this natural, and, you know, just more of them went down. 13 probes killed. Killing the medevac smart, because we've seen repeatedly that Clem, once he's kind of, you know, done on the natural, he will lift up and go to the main. We saw that against Skillus earlier. Really good control of the medevac and everything. As we are just going to be having the Robo Bay dropping down in the main base, and the Colossus is going to start up as well. Again, all of that established as we do have extra Stalkers just moving across the map here. And, like I say, setting up on the natural expansion a little bit, see what they can do. Couple shots on the bunker. Nothing too serious for the moment. Yeah, it's rough now. I mean, this is the issue. You're playing a robo opener, you don't really have much map control or anything along those lines. Like, this really is the situation where you kind of end up in a pretty reasonable amount of trouble pretty quickly. Guess we'll see what happens from Reynor as he tries to get back into this, but I mean, the Colossi at least will make it so he shouldn't die to the first bio push, even with the damage taken. The Colossi are typically safe enough in that scenario to carry through and kind of be the defenders. It's not like you're kind of, you know, hoping to have a good amount of, like, low-tech units. That's what the Hellion drop would have really worked wonders against. Clem will begin to get set to push out. His upgrades are finishing, and we'll see if it is going to be Colossi to the rescue for Reynor, if they can get the job done here. Reynor's force will begin to move forward and see if he can catch Clem mid-map or so. You know, get a couple force fields off, jump on this army, slow it down even, just scare Clem a little bit. He's going to force Clem back. Clem's a little afraid. He's like, okay. You're trying to come out and meet me. I appreciate that. That's a brave play. I appreciate you that you're kind of feeling a bit of confidence here. Gotta have some amount of respect for that, of course. It's going to start dropping in the main base, and again, without any blink or any kind of Phoenix play, it's going to be difficult to deal with this stuff. These Stalkers get pushed back immediately now. Do we get a chance to kill off this Robo? He's going to start making a play for it. I think he gets it before too much damage is done. He stopped target firing for a second, decides to just commit for it in the end, and I think that's a good call. Because stopping Colossus production is massive, and oh, Reynor has nothing on the third base. He's going to recall over here, but he's going to recall into Widow Mines. Oh my, oh, he actually only recalled, oh no. Yeah, he kind of didn't recall what he was meant to recall there, right? Clem's got this drop coming back to the low ground now. It's going to drop on the natural. I mean, kills the third. Robo Facility's dead. Reynor instantly starts to rebuild it, but he's just so far behind off the Hellion drop. It was going to be miraculous to get back in it anyways. Doesn't make it happen, and Clem wins 3-1 to round us out in the tournament.